All right. It switched over now, so I have all of that. Welcome to As It Is Below, a Brindlewood Bay actual play campaign from Looking For Mom TTRPG. My name is Sydney, and I am so pumped to be back for our third and final session of Homecoming at Bonfire Cliff, originally published in Nephews and Peril, a Brindlewood Bay supplement. If you're not caught up with where we're at, go back and watch the other ones and then come back over here. And then a special shout out to anyone with a vision prescription. We see you. There we go. Last session, just to do a little recap here, we started with Taya interrogating everyone in the house. Brad, Ashley, and Petra before trying to eavesdrop even more by throwing a brick of a phone basically across the house, damaging it, just to eavesdrop on some conversations, learning that someone has been camping out here in these areas. Meanwhile, Violet and Marina took the cool lesbians down to the quarry. On their way down, we talked a little bit about the unique customs in Brindlewood Bay around Crow Moon. And the two of you, I think with a little help from my handheld metal detector, found a dirty cigar box with 2 class rings inside. But your find was cut short by an intense lover spat between Madison and Hannah, thus splitting our group even more. Marina gave Madison some sage advice about worth in relationships, while Violet and Hannah broke into a shed. At the same time, Taya, having come out of the house with the part of the group, ends up running back inside with Paul at Petra's scream, where we find a suspect that has fallen unconscious, our Brad. In your choice to take care of these teens, you think you saw something on Brad's camera, but we'll have to investigate that a little bit more. And then, of course, I think you're really trying to help Petra not shut down completely as a person, given some really neat, touching moments there from all 3 of you in this last session. At the end of our session, we came to Violet uncovering some dark robes and brown paper hidden in the back of the shed her and Hannah let themselves into, and suffering from a strange time-warping vision that left you reeling. Not too dissimilar from the creepy crawlies we got with Marina in the field of mannequins that you all made up. That you introduced and now is canon. But as we come back to the game, we have someone arriving up top near the estate, the Hapsbury house here at the top of Bonfire Cliff. And you guys remind me, did we actually all make it back together at the end of last session? Are we still okay? We're still split. That's what I thought. I think we got to check right back in with where the action is, and I think that's got to be Violet post vision with Hannah in the shed. You've come back to as much as you can. What are you feeling right now?
Violet's pretty confused. I mean, we're early on. This is the first part of the, creepy experiences that she's experienced. So I think she's confused, disoriented. She's got this cloak, and I think she made an offhand comment about how, oh, was it Madison's? Like, was she here? To try, you gotta deal with things with humor.
Right. I think Hannah, you've been sitting here for 5 minutes, not saying anything, not even moving. Is this a game? Is this a part of the crow moon?
I'm sure it's fine.
Is this a mythical episode?
Maybe it is the crow moon. Do you think we've got? And she like looks down in her hands at the robe in the bag. Should we? We should probably head back.
Let's get you some air. And she like offers an arm to
Yeah.
extend to help get you back up.
Yeah, she takes the arm, gets up and kind of tries to leave the shed rapidly.
Are you taking? I know you had grabbed the robe, and that kind of triggered your experience. Are you taking it with you, or are you leaving it here?
I think she's not gonna think about it, and it's in her hand, so I think she's just gonna walk out with it, just not really thinking about it.
Yeah, right. It's heavy. It is a thick, heavy fabric. And yeah, Hannah kind of with you on her arm and getting out into the setting sun here, outside this shed, and there are no lights in this area, so things are getting dark pretty quick. She kind of looks around and, what is that you are holding?
Oh,
A blanket?
I think it's and she'll kind of let it drop, like part of it drop from her hands. She's like holding it up. I think it's like a cloak, maybe. It was stuck in a bag back in the shed, and then that's when I started feeling a little bit strange. Do you think it's connected? Like, do people run around in like black cloaks murdering people in Brindlewood Bay?
I am not from here. I do not know.
That's a good point. Should have thought that through. I don't
Maybe
know.
a Halloween costume. Maybe the shed is for the what is it? They do those fairs where they dress with the poofy pants and the they eat the leg and they do the dances and the pole with the stuff.
Like I just want you to explain it more.
They eat the leg.
You mean like Mayday or like Renaissance fairs?
Yes, that one.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, there wasn't, and she kind of like looks back through the door. There wasn't anything else like that in there though. Like, and feel it, and she holds it out to Hannah. It's really heavy and like a thick material. It seems really strange.
Scratchy.
Yeah. I don't know.
Not a good texture.
Yeah, I feel like we should bring it back. This seems strange. Like maybe it's part of it.
You only said that we would break and enter. I do not want to be a part of the stealing.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good point. We'll sit it back in and we won't steal it, but we can at least let them know it's here. I'm sure everybody else is fully accounted for, so I'm sure it'll be fine.
You need maybe some water. I think she'll take this from you if you let her.
Yeah.
And go put it back in.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like folding a sheet. And she kind of like just bundles it up and carries it in.
In the meantime, Violet like pulls out a big water bottle and like chugs half of it and is just kind of is like staring off, like water bottle not fully closed, just kind of staring off into the distance.
I think you hear like that door like swing shut and yeah. Sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. And she like quickly puts the lid back on the water bottle and kind of shakes the water that she spilled as she jumped off of her hands. I think, yeah, it's back this way. It's getting dark. We should get back.
Yes. Maybe back to the quarry and then all up together.
Yeah, that sounds like the best thing to do right now. we don't want to be wandering around the woods in the dark.
No. And she'll start like keeping pace with you, maybe just like one step ahead, and like casting you some worried glances.
Yeah.
But you tell me about I don't know, what do you like to do?
Have you I mean, I do a lot of birding actually. Like
Just talk to me about that, and we will um it will help with the regulation of your nervous system, and we will head our way back to the quarry.
yeah, that's a good idea. I've been lately there have been rumors. There's a whole Brindlewood Bay birding community about the Brindlewood Bay ghost raven, but nobody's been able to prove that it's real. The most we have is like this fuzzy photograph, and everybody's saying it's photoshopped and it's not actually real, but we've put in a lot of time looking for it. And as they kind of get back to the trees, Violet just completely stops and is like staring off into the trees.
Hello? Kind of waves a hand in front of your face.
Hey, I think we're almost back. It's probably nothing. I think I saw one of my crows flying through the trees. I just want to check really quick. Why don't you head back and meet up with the group, and I'll be there in just a minute.
Roll me the night move with presence to convince her to leave you alone in the woods.
All right.
So before you tell us what you rolled, oh, never mind, you said it.
Sorry.
It's a 3?
It's a 3. I rolled 2 ones.
Well, with presence, I assume if you didn't want her to go with you, the natural consequences, she will want to come with you.
Yeah.
I cannot leave you alone in your, excuse me, but your fragile state.
So you could wait here for just a minute. It was one of my first crows because I have a platform in my backyard, and I leave some food out for them and they come visit. But it was one of my favorites. It was Jude Caw, and like I won't be able to go up to them if you come with me. So why don't you could just wait right here. I'll just be a minute.
So you did fail this roll. There does need to be a consequence.
Yeah.
And I think here's the little devil's bargain I will give you.
Okay.
I will let you go off alone, provided I can give a consequence as soon as that scene is done to you.
Oof. I don't think I want to take a crown yet.
Yeah. How about
a crown?
Your consequence isn't a condition.
I think I can live with that.
All right, everyone, remember, Megan says, "I think I can live with that."
Oh God! And bye, Violet. It's been a great time.
I will stay right here, and then you come right back. 5 minutes.
5 minutes, yeah.
If you are not back in 5 minutes, I will scream.
Okay, that seems fair. Okay.
She gives you like a we are looking at each other and agreeing, very serious moment.
And as she does that, Violet just kind of looks off in the woods. Is like, okay, I'll be right back. As she steps off into the woods.
Right on. I think we'll cut as Violet steps off the trail into the woods proper, in the darkness setting in here. Totally normal, non-risky thing to be doing. And we'll go to Marina, and then we'll catch our way back up to the house, I think. Marina, you're with Madison here in Mannequin Land, out in the quarry. And I think you've convinced her to not give up on things yet, right?
Yeah.
And I believe last session you found a little bit about some clothes covered in ashes from a fire that Madison had used as part of the prank gone wrong that set off this whole fight in the first place. But now the two of you are doing what? What do you think?
Well, I know we just got that like radio in from Taya.
Yeah.
Probably quite a bit anxious to get up there, but can't leave without Violet and Hannah.
I mean, how important is the call to you if they're together?
That's true. I think she would just be like pacing around, like racking up that. Just being like, well, I mean, they're together, so I mean, it wouldn't be that bad if we just left now, but oh, I really don't want to leave them. It's already dark out, and just like pacing.
Hannah is, I mean, she's a science. She knows how to start a fire anywhere. She was in some sort of scouting program. I, of course, could not have been convinced to have been in a scouting program, but they would have kicked me out. But she's pretty capable, and your friend seems hardy. It should be okay. They should be. I mean, if someone's, this sounds real serious. If she's kind of like, I think she's taking steps ahead of you and then like turning back to like look at you. Like, we can, start sending them texts or trying to call, and as soon as they get service, and if not, we know which way they went. But it is getting dark.
That's true. You text them. I'm gonna write in the sand. We went back up. Like,
Okay.
and I'll leave a crystal so they know it's from me.
Good thinking. Signature crystal. And then she like rustles in maybe one of these deep pockets in the long black dress she's wearing, and she pulls out like one of her crystals, so they know it's from us.
Yes, I just wouldn't want them to think that something happened to us with everything that's going on right now.
Of course. Okay. She gives her crystal to you, and then she pulls out her phone and texts Hannah something. Yeah, what do you write in the sand and the rocks here?
I think like went back up the trail.
Right on.
And then I'll leave the two little crystals just like bloop.
You see, as you like look back up from doing that, Hannah's standing there with like one of the mannequin arms, and she's fashioned like the fingers to like be a pointing hand and lays it on the ground to like point back up the hill in case it's too dark. I mean, these things are pale as fuck, so
absolutely.
Okay. Let's get back up there and see what's going on. Things just, I feel like they're going from bad to worse.
Yeah, I mean, and that's what scares me about being apart from everyone. I just wish that we were all together so that, at least we had just that support around.
Well,
but I'm glad that you are here.
I'm glad that you're here too, and it'll be good. And she kind of just like, I think she like gives maybe your hand or your shoulder a little like, and we're gonna be fine, right? Squeeze.
Yeah.
And you guys will head back up the trail. Marina, when we came down the trail, you got to notice some extra stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
What's different going up the trail?
Ooh. I know that we had said that there were like little notes and stuff like attached to the trees. I'm gonna say that all, if not most, or like a noticeable amount of them are missing, but like the thing that was attaching them is still there.
Yes, not just like fallen off and fluttered to the ground. Gone.
Yeah.
For sure. So good. Ooh, so good. You guys scurry back up this trail. I think your earlier jaunt up the trail in the daylight means that you can do it now without as much issue as before. So I'm not going to make you roll for it as you and Madison head back up. Our camera's gonna do a hard cut as like you guys are breaking into the clearing. We like pan right on over. Taya, how you doing?
Terrified.
Tell me more.
Okay, wait. So who's in the room at the moment? And then we heard a door open, right? Or like someone coming
You
out.
heard like a car door and like footsteps and gravel. You are in the hallway. Petra is disassociating right next to you. Brad is unconscious in the bathroom.
Cool.
And Paul is crying about his wife next to you.
Amazing.
Ashley, I don't think she like ran back inside. But she's the one you can hear say like, fucking finally, like as this like door shuts and footsteps happen.
Cool. And where's the camera that I found?
Brad's wearing it.
Oh, okay. I'm just gonna borrow it real quick.
Okay.
Okay.
I love that idea. The funny thing about trying to borrow it is that like Paul is right there. So I want you to tell me how you plan to snatch this camera off of an unconscious I guess he's not a teen, young adult's body, and then we're gonna roll for it.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna very like verbally be explaining what I'm doing as I'm like helping prop him up and be like, he should be sitting up so he's not just in case anything happens, he like chokes on something. And we should probably check his camera because maybe he knows something. And I'm like I'm trying not to be sneaky about this.
Okay. Right on. Well, if you're trying not to be sneaky, I do think this is presence to like be confident enough to sell it that Paul isn't suspicious.
Yeah.
It's going to be a night move with presence. What are you worried about if this doesn't go your way?
I'm worried I might break the camera even more or Paul's gonna think I'm the killer again. Gonna be incredibly
someone's gonna think you're the killer.
Yeah.
For sure. I think it's probably worse than that. It could be incredibly incriminating if you were trying to take this camera like off of him as someone comes into the hallway.
True.
Depending on who that is. Or, I mean, the camera lens is broken. That's something we established in the last session. You know, you could somehow like scrape your hand on it, or you know, it could be a minor injury. But I think maybe more the social ramifications of this one are probably pretty severe, given Brad's delicate state. So go ahead and roll me that night move
with
presence.
Great, cool, awesome. Ooh. Presence is 0, 9.
A 9. On a 9. Just make sure I'm getting this right. So we gotta, excuse me, 1 second.
Pulls out the book of secrets.
It's just like my keeper reference on the inside, so I don't have to have a million pages. No, on a 9, there's going to be a complication or a cost here. I think you can get this off of Brad, but you have like the feeling of someone has seen you do it, whether it's Petra or Paul or this person who is turning the corner. You can get the camera and it's only one of them, and you don't hear anyone calling out like, what are you doing? But one of them notices.
I need that camera. Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, I don't know why that was the noise I made. That's not the noise it should have been.
Slurp.
Yeah, you slurped that camera off of Brad's unconscious body. Yeah, you have it. It's not terribly expensive, but it's still like it's not a little guy.
Yeah.
It's got that busted lens up at the front, and the little like screen in the back.
Okay. I'm gonna like examine it, and then can I use my Maven move to fix it?
Tell us about your Maven move.
Cool. My Maven move is Angus MacGyver. When you improvise in a situation using whatever is at hand, ask the other players and keeper to name 3 objects you find in the environment, so long as you can give a plausible explanation for how one or more of these objects will help you with an action. You can have an advantage on a single roll related to that action.
Right on. So your role that you want to do is meddling with the camera.
Yes.
So fixing it is not about fixing the lens. It's about powering it on, or like fixing the menu to get to what you're trying to figure out.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so I want you guys to help with this, not just me. For reference, Brad is passed out in the bathroom. So it's like a bathroom hallway, storage closet kind of area. What 3 objects could be around that we think Taya has access to in this moment?
What's wrong with the camera?
What's right with this camera? The front lens is super busted. I think maybe the power button's super sticky. The like back screen is like losing its like sensor, like tactile, and maybe some of the buttons are gunked. So the goal is, I think, to correct me if I'm wrong, to uncover what Brad was taking pictures of.
Yes.
But we have to get the camera to work first. So we're thinking of 3 items. I don't think we should make it too easy on Angeli here, but 3 items that might help with camera fiddling or be around in a bathroom, hallway, closet situation.
My first thought was Q-tips.
Yeah.
Okay. Q-tips. Love it.
My phone's button wasn't working, and what helped was putting a blow dryer against it. So I'm thinking blow dryer.
Okay.
I want to give you something that like doesn't make sense to force you to have to incorporate it, because I think that
I love it.
I love giving you a challenge. But everything I think of is like incredibly useful. I think you've got access to one of those toothbrushes that, like, when you use it, sings a song. Like a child's toothbrush that had been left here from like one of the Hapsbury kids forever ago. And its bristles are kind of all bent and whatnot. But I think you've got a busted old market gimmick toothbrush.
I love that. Okay, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take the Q-tip, pull off like the fibers on one end, chew it so that it's like at a flat head, so it's a flathead screwdriver, but small enough to like take out the tiny screws of the back panel. And then I'm gonna use the blow dryer as a blow dryer to heat the like stickiness that holds the back screen, and then I can pull off the back screen and then use the parts of the tiny toothbrush that sings and reconnect some wires, and then put it all back together.
I have to ask you, what song is getting like low battery warbled?
Living on a Prayer.
Whoa, living on a prayer.
Disassembling it.
Just going. You get advantage on this meddling move. I think you're getting the camera working, so trying to figure out how to get to what you need.
Cool. So how does advantage work again in this one?
You're gonna roll 3d6. Keep your top 2, then add your modifier.
Okay.
So you were doing the meddling move with, I would assume, reason in
Yeah.
this moment.
All right. Ooh, 10.
A 10. Right on.
Ooh.
On a 10, because my clues are over here. Oh, where'd it go? I scrolled too far. That's on me. You're kind of like thumbing through photos. You get like some trails. You get like trash on the trail. You get some pictures of like improper waste management that Brad has documented in the city. You do get like one like where he's like set up the camera and he's like sitting on the edge of the cliff in like a silhouette that he's probably gonna put on Instagram at some point, or on like a dating profile. But I think you like one that looks like one of the like trail trash bins that had been put in back when this was like a more usable area, like maybe near the quarry equipment or something. And it's Brad documenting like trash just like not being put away properly. But what it's a picture of is a like old sandwich baggie with like half destroyed Polaroids inside.
Whoa.
A picture of a picture. And I think maybe you like thumb through and like come back to it and like really look at that. But I do have to tell you, as you thumb through, you see something else. You see a picture of like the mannequin land, which you haven't really been to yet.
Yeah.
That far in. But you see the mannequins all looking the way that they've been described, with like arms and legs swapped and just kind of in disarray. And then the next picture over, all of the arms that are arms and the legs that are arms are all positioned up.
Oh. Okay. Creepy.
Yeah. The creepier part is that if you try to go back to that photo, you can't find it anymore.
Okay.
Your capital C clue is the half-destroyed Polaroids in the sandwich bag.
Cool. Would I know where it is? Like where to find it?
I think in like the order of pictures, it would be down near like all of the old quarry equipment.
Okay, cool.
Like past the mannequins.
Ooh. All right. I note that. Give Brad back his camera. Just put it, like, I'll set it in his lap.
You like set that in his lap right as like the front screen door like and you hear a voice. Where is he? Where is he?
I stand up, head straight to the voice, and I go, "Oh, he's over here."
And you see the like tall figure of David Gareth Sunderland III, whom you all know. David Gareth Sunderland III is he's the owner of the Driftwood Gallery. Tall, rail thin, very pale with light blonde hair and frost blue eyes. He works in the art world and runs a very known to have be running a very tight ship at the Driftwood Gallery. Also known and has a reputation for discovering up and coming local artists and getting them some more regional prominence. You all know him just from like being in the Bay. I think maybe Marina, especially, within the arts realm. But David turns the corner, sees you like not putting the camera, but like just near Brad, and just like straight to Brad, and comes over like, is he breathing? Is he okay?
I think so. I'm not a nurse, but can you help?
Let's see. Brad, and as he's doing this, you start to hear the sounds of Thomas and Carolyn and Ashley as they round the corner. Maybe you hear them kind of outside, actually. And Marina and Madison, you'll join the Thomas, Ashley, Carolyn experience in a moment. But first, we're going to cut from David Garrett Sunderland III kneeling in front of Brad, back down to the woods. Night has fallen, and these 5 minutes stretch on and feel a lot longer as you venture more and more off trail, Violet. Are you really out here to see Jude Caw?
No, she's not out here to see Jude Caw. Let's since you know who this person is, what it is. I feel like I'm keepering the keeper, and I feel a little bad about it, but I'm gonna do it anyway. What would have caught her eye that would have indicated that maybe her informant from her maven move is out here in the woods?
Ooh, I love getting a paint the scene question back to me. I think what clued you when they were here, or at least around, happened earlier. Maybe in a fixing or like seeing notes in the trees. One of them had some wording, or was just the right way, or maybe had a symbol that they've left for you before that clued you in that they were here.
Ooh, I love it. Yeah, so I think what the scene looks like, I think at this point where they are in the trees, everything is really dark. Since Violet doesn't have a flashlight out, it's just kind of vague outlines at this point. There's a decent amount of underbrush in the area. And I think they were probably waiting for her there. I think when she sees them, she seems to become a little bit more focused as to what's going on than she has been for the last, 10, 15 minutes or so. And she says, "I got your message."
Yeah, you are walking through those woods, tighter and darker and more shrouded than they had been earlier. Everything seems more ominous when you're alone, right? Even the fact of becoming not alone feels ominous when you've been alone. And as you come into this little break, you see them sitting down there's a small little table, and just old wooden dining room chair, but still unidentifiable, and it's dark enough you can't make out much of them, and I don't think you should get any closer than where you are. She says, you got their message.
Yeah.
And they stand up, push their chair in, and turn around. You seem a little out of time, out of touch. Dealer's choice.
I think both flavors probably apply right now.
I understand.
I'm glad somebody does.
Well, let's cut to the chase, shall we? And then I think like the camera cuts. Because this conversation happens off screen. And you have your secret little meeting in the woods. We get like just a flyby scene of Hannah going, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. She's like counting in French. And then we like cut again to Marina and Madison. You guys are like making it up the hill. And we'll do kind of like a quick round of scenes. We'll come back to you, Violet, reuniting with Hannah in a moment because I know that was very short. Marina and Madison, you guys kind of like break through the tree line into the clearing that is dark now, save for a little bit of embers in the bonfire here. And you can see illuminated by the lights from within the house, the kind of hunched over form of Carolyn with her big sign, and then Thomas and Ashley Hapsbury standing in front. And then a flashlight, I think, swivels over your way. Who's there? She shines it right in your face. Who is it? Oh, you're muted. Who's that? I can't hear you.
Oh, hi. No, this is Marina. Hi. Can you take that off a little?
Who?
Marina. Who are you? I can't even see you. The light's blinding me.
She pulls it underneath her chin.
Jesus.
Yeah, Madison like takes a step back. Oh my God. Whew. And you hear Carolyn go, "Don't take his name in vain."
Oh God.
And you hear someone go, "Give me that." And Thomas takes the flashlight and holds it high so it kind of like shines across and over to you all. "Oh, welcome back. At least you all made it back safely."
Yeah,
no one else is
been
wandering
going on here?
"Oh, Carolyn, how about you tell them what's going on here?" And Carolyn goes, "I've done nothing wrong. I did nothing. All I did was I wanted some air. You guys were throwing the football. I said I break a hip. And suddenly I'm the bad guy for just walking a little bit." And Thomas goes, "You literally walked straight into the woods. And we couldn't find you. I guess Paul's inside the house, thank goodness. Just lucky enough that you wandered into a road for David to pick us up. Carolyn, why aren't you in a home? Why aren't you?" And you see like Ashley
God.
nodding resolutely.
Same.
As you guys come up. Anything that you and Madison do or talk about as you cross the clearing?
I think I'm kind of just like not like very much against like Carolyn's existence. And I think this is like the first time Marina's like interacted with her as much. So it's probably like, have you like what's her deal? I mean, why and this is the first time I've really like spent any time with her, and it's been little and
Aren't
it's
you
been
lucky?
enough.
No, she is. Oh, she's something. I think Carolyn really has a big void in her life, and it's not filled unless she's got an enemy. If she's got something to rally against. First, she hated the cheese race. She hated that stop sign they put on Central. God, when they moved back the bunko night from, 6 to 8. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But I mean, would you say this is like harmless annoying, or I mean, has she like done anything that you would like a little bit more questionable?
Oh, Caroline. I mean, it kind of really depends on how you feel about a lot of things. Let me look through here real quick. She's been coming here and yelling at kids that, I mean, like, since I was in high school. I don't know. She's got her own personal crusade, and I do think most of the time she's harmless. She just like has strong opinions, and I get it. I have strong opinions, but sometimes she really just can't let it go. I think she's probably the most egregious thing she does is hurt eardrums and waste time in city hall meetings. But sounds like, I don't know, she must have wandered off.
I mean, just because they were playing, what was it, football?
She might hate football and might be from, I don't know, the devil or something.
Yeah. I mean, but why just wander into the woods because you don't want to see them play football? I mean, that's endangering yourself.
Who knows? I mean, that's probably the most dangerous. That's all. I mean, thank goodness we don't live near her. I feel like I'd never get any sleep if we did. We don't.
Why?
I mean, we can hear. We're not even. She like points down the field.
Yeah, you're right.
No. And then you guys hear, "What are you talking about over there?" From Carolyn.
It's like very. It's like, yeah, I would not want to be within earshot of this woman. It just. Ugh.
Yeah, sometimes when I think Thomas and Ashley are really annoying, and then I see Carolyn at the grocery store, it really brings that sense of, I don't have it too bad, do I?
Oh, well, why don't you get along with Thomas and who'd you say?
Oh, his wife, Ashley?
Ashley. Oh, what's wrong? What's so bad about them? I mean, I don't really know them all too well personally.
I mean, sibling shit. Thomas and I are about as different as siblings could be. And they live their perfect little life, and that's good for them. Good for them.
Well, I mean, you don't have it so bad with Hannah.
I mean, no, she's great. When she's not mad. But I don't know, Thomas has what Mom and Dad wanted for us. And I think that, he's got a lot to be proud and prideful of.
What does Thomas do again?
Shit.
Would Marina know this?
Okay.
He's a successful businessman in town with a life many envy. I don't know. What business does he run? You guys would probably know. It's a small town.
Oh, what business does he run?
What successful business? What quintessential American business is he a part of?
He's a gumball baron.
I love how that came.
He's a gumball baron?
Yeah.
Tell me more.
He inherited obviously all of this from his family and has been creating gumballs and gumball machines.
Yeah, so in that tourist strip right on the bay, like how every tourist strip has like, this is the candy place.
Yeah.
They've got like a combo, like here's the saltwater taffy one that we also own, and then like here's the gumball one that we own, and then like here's the like artisan chocolate one that we own. Yeah, he's the candy king, a gumball baron, the I don't know, the taffy lord, of Brindlewood Bay. Dentists hate him. Kids love him.
Yes.
Love it so much.
I'm sure that's what Calvin thought would happen when he wrote this and didn't signify what business he would have. That this is what
Just
would occur.
businessman. Yeah.
With a life many envy.
Yep.
It literally says that. Everyone wants to be Candy King.
Hey, if you had the chance, would you not be a gumball baron?
Yeah.
Like, financially secure in a town.
If I was financially
with
secure,
higher
yeah,
life?
that'd be great.
Yeah.
You got me. Got me. My orthodontist is like turning over right now. He's having nightmares about this thought. I think we'll swivel from like Marina and Madison in this moment, discussing like the intricacies of Thomas's perfect life as the gumball baron with his perfect wife and his perfect adopted kids. We're back inside with Taya, Petra, Paul, and David Garrett Sunderland III and Brad. David has like taken to just like kind of gently rocking Bradford. Brad, your mother is going to be so upset, and I need her not to be upset because we have an opening. Brad, he's not shaking him hard, but he's definitely given him a little wiggle.
Yeah.
And Petra's like, why is Mr. Sunderland here?
I'm not sure. Excuse me, sir.
What?
Did you get the call to come in because of Brad, or?
What call?
Oh, okay. Why are you here?
I was supposed to be picking up Brad from the trails. You know, his mom works at the gallery. They got into a fight. He had ran off. I was supposed to come and retrieve him while she's setting up the last pieces, because he tends to do this. And his, his little satellite phone pings, like, locations.
Yes.
But it hadn't gone off in a while, and so I came to get him. And Brad, and he kind of like goes back to, your mother's going to be so mad at me. Come on. He goes back to trying to wake him up.
Maybe I could find him like a glass of water or something.
I'm gonna throw it in his face. Good thinking.
I'm gonna rush into like the kitchen and grab like a cup or something.
Right on. Yeah, you're there and back.
Awesome. Yeah, with like a glass of water, hand it to him.
You hand it to David.
Yeah.
David Garrett Sunderland III takes it and goes and like splashes Brad, and kind of all of you. You're all pretty near, and then just like Brad really loudly. Brad. Uncle David? Kind of just really bleary looks at everyone here.
I'm gonna reach to like help him up.
Oh, no, I'm gonna stay right here. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Oh, that was one bathroom break.
Yeah, what happened?
I don't know. I had to go to the bathroom. You and I talked. I shut the door. I sat down. I must have passed out or something. I don't know.
I bet you wished I actually came in there with you. I told you.
Paul, Petra, and David's heads all just like turn to look at you in this moment.
I told the boy that I should come with him just in case, but he wouldn't listen to me.
Just in case of what?
I don't know.
What's going on here?
Oh, is this David talking?
Yes.
Oh. Okay, I think you might want to sit down for this.
He was like on his knees and he just kind of like cross legs, his long gangly legs.
I'm just gonna relay, to the Gumball King everything that's happened.
Oh no, he's not the Gumball King.
Oh, it's not.
No,
that's
he owns
Thomas.
the gallery. Yeah.
I forgot. Sorry, I got excited.
No, you're good. The Gumball hierarchy is very special, and we'll have to do a whole episode on it.
Yes,
but for right now, we like fade away from like you explaining everything that's happened up to this point to David Gareth Sunderland III. And you start to put the pieces together. David's half-sister is Brad's mom. David's half-sister. They're related, but I think, Taya, what you really remember about the woman who's working at the gallery right now is that Leanne is the only other like strapping young teen that beats you at the cheese race.
Oh.
And you like start to see the similarities between like Brad and his mom as you're like picturing her face.
Oh, she beats me out every time. I hate it.
Yeah, like the back of your mind is ticking and our camera fades. And I think I'm going to take just a wee little break. Okay. Back, ready to go. I think our camera is going to find Violet. You find Hannah pacing on the trail. If you go back to her, I'm assuming you go back to her.
I think she will, but I think we had talked about with, unfortunately, her current mental state, it's gonna feel like she heads right back. But unfortunately, I think it's gonna be a little bit.
Yeah, roll me a d6.
Okay. 4?
All right. Your 5-minute walk in, and however long you talk to your secret friend, takes about 40 minutes to get back to Hannah, which you kind of like come back to close enough because you hear her horse scream.
Hey, is everything okay? I came right back.
Where have you been?
I came right back. And
No, you did not. If you're the killer, you have to tell me. You have to.
I'm not the killer. I swear, I was just I walked in, I looked for Jude Call, I couldn't find him, and I came back. And she goes to look at her watch, I'm assuming that her watch is normal time. And all the blood kind of rushes from her face, and she goes, I just looked at my watch, and it had only been like 3 minutes.
I don't know what kind of sick prank this is that you are pulling on me.
It's
the other you didn't say anything at all, and now you're here like nothing has happened.
I don't know what's going on, but I think we should get back. It's really dark. And she'll pull a flashlight out of her backpack after a second, and we should. Yeah. Have you heard anything from Marina and Madison?
She is not like being near you. She's like keeping her distance.
Okay.
But I think you do get a glimpse of her phone. There's a string of like unsendable messages that she has tried to send to Madison. And even to like Thomas and Ashley that like just haven't gone through.
Yeah, do you want to, I can put the flashlight down if you'd rather hold the flashlight. I don't,
You can walk in front of me, and I will watch you.
okay, can you, like, just talk a little bit so I know you're there?
The other you... I don't know what this whole thing is. You say you need to see a bird, you are gone for almost an hour, you come back in the middle, you say nothing, and then you go off again, and then you come back. What do you want me to say? I am mad at you?
No,
There, I can talk about how mad I am at you to leave me alone in the woods.
yeah, I mean, that makes sense. I more meant while we walk, so I know that, you don't get taken by the murderer, since I know I'm not the murderer.
She's just kind of looking at you.
Okay.
Why did you go back to get the cloak?
No, you can check my backpack.
No, you were wearing it earlier.
I was what? I wasn't wearing it.
When you came back on the trail and I go, hey! And then you say nothing to me and you are wearing as a cloak and then you go back into the woods.
I put the cloak back. I didn't bring it with me. You can check my backpack.
Sick
don't
fucking
have a
joke this
cloak.
is.
You saw somebody with a cloak?
I saw you?
Why would you think it was me?
Because it looked like you.
You saw their face?
It was you? Why are you lying to me?
Listen, I wish I was lying at this point because it would make a lot more sense than what's happened.
I think you guys are like having this conversation as you're like, she's making you walk in front of her up the trail.
And she like keeps like trying to stop and turn around, and I imagine she's probably like shooing her forward. I didn't have a cloak. I don't know what happened. I was walking back to you and it had only been 5 minutes, and then all of a sudden I heard you screaming, and I don't know.
I told you after 5 minutes I would scream, but after 20 minutes of trying to scream, my throat hurts. You come back and you say nothing, and then you leave again.
I wish I had something to tell you.
Me too.
Yeah.
You guys continue to walk back up. Violet.
Yep.
What are you feeling right now with Hannah's emotions towards you?
I think Violet's pretty scared in this moment. Like she thinks that she walked right back. And like that's all it seemed. And then with her saying that she knew it was Violet, had seen Violet in a cloak, when Violet no, she doesn't have another cloak on her. She had handed the cloak back to Hannah. I think she's pretty scared, and she's wondering, like, I think there's lots of thoughts. There's like crazy thoughts, like, what if I am the murderer? And she's like, no, I was with the Mavens this morning. Like, I'm pretty sure I'm not the murderer, but like, how did this happen? Like, yeah, she's spinning pretty good right now.
Yeah. I think it's in that, like, that spinning and your mind racing, and Hannah's like kind of babbling behind you with the flashlight. You're a little out of touch, out of time with what's happening here, right?
Yeah.
Which is why I think maybe it takes you slower to react than normal when Hannah's flashlight drops to the ground.
Hannah? She turns around.
Your camera cuts. I think maybe in that time, Marina and Madison, Thomas, Carolyn, Ashley, you guys maybe all have moved inside into the Hapsbury living room where David is, maybe Taya has just wrapped up, and David's kind of like getting on to Brad of like, you cannot just be walking in the woods with your satellite phone, just he's kind of like reprimanding him as his uncle. And Petra has a little bit more color to her face, and Paul, I think as soon as Thomas comes inside, he like goes to Thomas because that's the person he knows in all of this. But Taya, Marina, you guys finally see each other after a good chunk of your late evening apart.
Marina, Taya's immediately gonna like come over and give her a big hug.
Yeah,
and,
just like, oh, it's so good to see you. Like my face all squished in the hug.
I can't believe we've been apart for so long, and it was so scary. Are you doing okay? Is everything all right?
It was so scary. Yeah, everything's all right now. I mean, I'm just worried about Violet. Is she here? Has she been here?
No, not yet. I don't think.
Oh well, she's with Hannah, so who's apparently very capable in the woods. So so I mean, I'm sure we have nothing to worry about.
I'm sure it's gonna be fine. I got you this, and I like pull out that stone that I had
wrapped
earlier.
up.
Yeah, that I grabbed. And it's like, it looks like a very ordinary stone, but it probably has like flecks of blue in it. And then I'm just,
I don't know. Well, yeah, you have looked at it a little bit. It's,
this is just the random stone that I picked
the
up.
random one, not the creepy special one,
Not
just the random one. Then by all means, pontificate away.
Yeah, and I'm just gonna hand it to Marina. I know it's not a crystal, but I just wanted to grab it for you. I thought it would make you feel better.
Thank you. Oh, I needed this. And then I'll start like rubbing it.
And then I pull out the weird creepy thing
that you've wrapped up.
Oh, yeah. I'm rubbing off on you.
Yeah, I saw this in one of the trash bins outside, and don't touch it though. It's a little prickly. I don't know.
As I was like going.
Yeah, I'm like, wait. Can we take a better look at it, Sid?
Yeah, are you trying to do this like inconspicuously?
I think it'll be like in our huddle.
Mm-hmm.
Right on. Yeah, let me pull that up. You unravel it, and it's a small little ivory walrus. The two of you, very quickly, as you're looking at this like bone mammal trinket that Taya has picked up out of the trash, quickly realize, because Taya, you felt it when you wrapped it, this thing moves. Not as if like a walrus would move, but like a compass would move.
Oh. A little more comforting.
It like twitches and swivels, pointing its face in a couple different directions before like settling in. It's no bigger than like, a little, like this sort of size.
Oh wow, I thought it was way bigger.
No, small.
Small. I wonder what it's pointing at.
It has like a compass thing?
It like acts as a compass, right?
A little bit, yeah. It moves like a compass does. It seems to be indicating into one direction.
I like turn like a 15 degrees, and does it
comes back.
That's so strange. You found this in the trash?
Yeah, and it hurt when I picked it up, so that's why it's wrapped up in a handkerchief.
That's so strange. And It's like Marina kind of like looks to the direction where it's pointing.
Marina, it's kind of like just pointing out of the house, but it's pointing off the cliff edge down, like as if you were. It's not north that it's pointing to. It's pointing somewhere else.
Okay. What a strange little mechanism that is.
Yeah. Do you think we should wait for Violet before we follow this, or do you think we should make a distraction and try to get out?
Oh.
No, I think we should wait for her.
Okay.
As if like on cue, Violet. It's been a very silent walk back to the house. You have Hannah's flashlight. That's the only thing of Hannah you have. When you turned around, she was not there. And after a moment of waiting and hearing nothing, you were alone in the woods once again.
Not the lesbian.
Not the lesbian!
Not the lesbian!
What finally drives you to move forward towards the Hapsbury house?
I think at first realizing that she's gone, even though it's kind of futile, Violet's gonna pull out her binoculars, like shine her flashlight out, try to look. She's gonna, call out. She's gonna do, kind of small circles around the area, making sure she can, keep on the trail, that she's not too far. And I think maybe she starts hearing some sounds that sound like another person is with her. That seems to not be Hannah because they're not responding. Like, she assumes that since she has Hannah's flashlight, Hannah does not seem like the type of person, especially after the night they've had, to just duck out into the woods. So I think as she moves, she starts hearing like rustles and steps, and a stick breaks, and it's all consistently sounds like something human-sized.
And that's what gets you to kind of hightail it out of there.
Yeah, she shines her flashlight around, and it sounds close and she can't see anything. So with everything, she's grabs Hannah's flashlight, and she kind of looks around her surroundings so she can actually she's gonna pull probably like her first aid kit or something out of her backpack. Nah, she's not gonna do that with somebody there. She's just gonna try to she'll try to scuff her shoe, drag her shoe for a footstep or two, so that maybe it'll make a mark in the trail, so that if she comes back, she could potentially identify it. But she's gonna get to moving.
Yeah, you get to moving pretty quickly. And those sound indicators, the scratch of something against rock, the sound of twigs breaking, sounds that are both human-sized and so maybe it's the layering of critters. Maybe it is the antics around Crow Moon in this area that's usually populated by teens doing all sorts of stuff. It just sits with you the wrong way, because there are other people out in these woods, and you take off. Marina and Taya, it's about when you guys decide, no, we should wait for Violet. That Violet, you open the door into the Hapsbury house. Hannah's flashlight in your hand, alone.
Have you seen Hannah?
I think Marina will just like run to her and be like, Violet, and then kind
Yeah.
of like look around, expecting Hannah, but then hear, have you seen Hannah? But no, I mean, she went with you.
I don't know what happened. We were walking back and she was behind me, and then I've got her flashlight, but there's somebody else. And like, Violet seems really out of it. Like, you guys would know her well. This is very atypical behavior of hers.
I think we'd both like have her on each side and like go and sit her down.
Yeah.
And get a glass of water and like 6 crystals.
You guys all catch the start of panic within Madison as this like scene takes place. Like seeing Violet come in the door, seeing all of you guys reconnect, then hearing that question. And she keeps opening her mouth to say something and then shutting it and then opening it. And then you guys like start to move Violet to like sit down and grab water and crystals. And Madison is just looking between what do you mean? Where's Hannah? Where's Hannah?
I don't know. She was right behind me, and then she wasn't, but her flashlight was there. I looked. I couldn't find her, and I hope she was back here, but I guess she's not. Is everybody else here? We should go look.
You can stay here. She takes the flashlight from you. Hannah's flashlight.
Oh, I don't think you should go out into the woods in the dark alone.
Yeah.
I'll bring Thomas. She yells at her brother. You kind of, yeah, okay. And he like goes into a closet and pulls out like a bigger, like one of those like floodlight sort of flashlight, like crank guys.
Just
we'll stop. Yeah.
Be careful. I looked around when she was gone, but it didn't sound like I was.
You guys take care. She just does not sound well. This is Thomas. Madison is like frantic at the door, beckoning him to come on. And the siblings step out into the night, and the door like slams as they go to try to find Hannah. And for the first time in several hours, you're all back together. And the rest of the gang. Paul, Ashley, Petra, Brad, David, Gareth Sunderland III, Carolyn. I think that's all of them. And Madison and Thomas are gone. Paul is there. Yep.
Yeah.
Paul, like after Thomas left, he kind of just patting his like, I'll go do some dishes or something.
Okay. Violet, are you okay? You don't seem well at all. And Taya's gonna just like clap your shoulder and try to give you like a very reassuring like hold.
She kind of like flinches away. It's like, what's happening?
What happened to you out there?
She was just gone.
What do you mean gone? Like, I mean, did you hear her run away? Did you get lost?
I don't think so. Like her flashlight was there, but she was just gone.
So strange.
I think while you guys are having this scene, when our camera shifts focus and we finally see like the lights of EMS or patrol come up the gravel road, and Ashley goes out to talk to them while you guys are having your moment here. So an authority figure has arrived. And then our camera like kind of focuses back into the three of you inside the house.
I think for dramatic effect, I'm gonna say the lights of the ambulance start like, blinking across our mavens' faces. Violet kind of shakes her head. What? How did you get somebody here so quickly? She was just gone.
It wasn't for her. I thought this was for Brad. He passed out or something.
What happened?
Petra found him passed out in the bathroom. I found something in his phone or in his camera, but he's okay right now.
He's conscious, right? Like he's
nursing a cup of orange juice on the couch.
Oh, well, maybe they can help. See if they can help with where Hannah is. Now that this guy's just sipping over on his orange, and they can help him a little.
I think who would be closest to you? Ashley's outside. Well, maybe it's Petra, who is close enough to you guys to be like, aren't they here for Mr. Harrison?
Mr. Harrison?
Oh, you're right.
Mr. Harrison, whose mouth is stuffed full of leaves.
Oh my God.
Mr. Harrison?
Mr. Harrison? But Mr. Harrison is already dead.
Was that today?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna go find out. And I'm gonna head out to see, I guess, Ashley again and the paramedics, or
some sort of enforcement has arrived. So blinking lights, we kind of danced around what it really would have been, but what you see now is a sheriff car and a county like volunteer fire rescue have both pulled up behind David Gareth Sunderland III's car in this like gravel road lot near the Hapsbury house. In the portly figure of Sheriff Dalrymple is standing here with Ashley getting some notes, as well as a fireman that has a name tag on, like a name patch. It says Rhett across the side. Actually says Rhett the cadet. Like Rhett is the normal patch, and then like obviously handmade the cadet has been put on next to it. And they're the sheriff is talking to Ashley. Rhett has like paused to listen, but he looks like he's got a bag and he's coming inside.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll I guess meet Rhett as he's coming in.
Hello.
Hi. My name is Taya, and I'm here to help. But you got the call to come here?
We received a signal off of a satellite phone.
Oh, Brad's phone. Yes. He's inside, and I walk him in.
Rhett, the cadet.
That's a good name.
Thank you.
You
And
made
he
that
brings.
yourself?
No, it was a gift from my father.
From your father.
Mm-hmm.
He's a caring man.
Oh, do you know him?
Would I know him?
What's Rhett's father's name?
Oh, we've got Chet and Rhett. What rhymes with that?
Bet.
Oh no, and then there's Brett. We already have that.
Yeah.
Jet.
Jet. That's cool.
Jet's cool.
Yeah.
Jet.
Jet.
Yes. I don't. Taya would know probably if they've, existed in this town.
Well, if you see him, tell him to stop on by sometime.
Oh, he's that kind of father. Okay.
Who? I'm looking for a Bradford.
Oh yes. And I lead him inside.
Yeah, he comes in and he talks to David a little bit, and then kneels down in front of Brad and like kind of does like an eyeball check and concussion check and all of those sorts of things.
I'll head back to Petra and like the other mavens, and I go, he's here for Brad. So.
Well, do you think that they would be able to help with any of the other bunch of stuff that's going on?
Possibly. I didn't get a chance to ask. I wanted to make sure Brad was okay first.
That's true.
Yeah.
Violet, how are you feeling?
What?
How are you feeling?
I'm sure I'm fine. Is Brad awake yet?
He's been awake.
Oh, were they here for Mark then? Did they figure out who did it?
Not quite yet.
Okay.
No, they just got here. They're checking over on Brad.
Okay. I'm sure it'll be fine.
Yeah.
Like the camera pans and we see Rhett making Brad do like the drunk driving test of walking in a straight line. And then we like cut back.
Do you need any water, Violet, or a nap? We could set something up for you.
Yeah, I think. Is there a kitchen around? Maybe some tea would help. That tea's always a good idea.
Okay. Yeah, I like head into the kitchen with my homemade tea bags from plants in my garden.
Yeah. You guys head in there. Paul has just finished like doing the dishes. How you feeling?
There've been better nights. Is there a tea kettle around? And she starts kind of looking around for stuff to.
Oh no, he kind of starts opening up stuff. You guys can hear in the other room, Sheriff Dalrymple has come in and has started to just like talk to people in that room.
Mm-hmm.
And you hear him talk to Rhett and send Rhett out to call in search force, or to go. Actually, he sends Rhett to go look at the body. Actually, he'll do that first, and then to call in search force. And then Paul, like we cut back in, and Paul is like, "Yeah, here we go." One of the fill it in, plug it in sort of ones. He passes it, I think, to Taya. Because Taya's really the only one of you he knows.
Taya's gonna fill it up with water and plug it in, get it started. Are you doing okay, Paul?
There have been better days. Repeats Violet's words, but no, I'm okay. Except for I've got this migraine. It's like this dog keeps barking right in my ear.
I think I heard it too. We must be getting the same migraine.
They're contagious, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just starting to get it now. It's a low bark.
It seems to have stopped right now, so like it was muted or something.
Thank goodness. This day has been bad enough. No, I will. It sounds like you all. Frankly, I have a bit of like people anxiety, and the fact that the three of you are in here now is making me feel like I'm going to have hives. So I'm going to go find another place to be. Enjoy your tea.
Oh, thank you.
Okay.
You're welcome. Bye. He like turns around and leaves the kitchen. You're all together. I heard tea with herbs from my garden happening. It sounds like maybe a cozy move is trying to take place.
Yes. Sick. Yeah. I think Taya like brews the tea and then like sets out like teacups and plates, little saucers, and like settles into like the kitchen dining area if that's a thing in there.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
And I think Marina will suggest to Violet, like, why don't you just to like kind of get her calming too, like, why don't you tell us about any birds you saw today? You know, tell us what they look like, if you saw any around. You know, Kroom is teeming with birds.
As you say that, Violet kind of snaps over. It's just like, she doesn't seem to have like heard what Marina said. Is the tea ready?
Yes, Violet here. And I'll hand her
It's
a saucer.
I feel like it doesn't normally take you this long to make tea. It's been like, I don't know, it feels like it's been like 20-30 minutes.
I mean, this isn't my home, so I don't have my normal brewing setup. This kettle very cheap despite this fancy home.
I feel in actuality it's been like, I feel like 10 minutes in like real life.
Yeah, but Taya's not gonna be trying to correct that.
Yeah. Thank you. And she just kind of like sits there for a second and is just holding the tea. She's like, you know, smelling it before she like takes the first little sip and just kind of. So, we've talked about Brad, and I mean the emergency folks are here now. Did anything else happen while we've been apart?
I found this. I pull out the weird compass thing.
Yeah, the bone walrus.
Bone walrus, yes.
Yep, and it starts kind of flitting in your hand on it, the handkerchief, until it again points back into the same direction it was earlier.
Oh.
Yeah, this one's kind of strange.
I wasn't sure we should follow it at all.
Yeah, would we, from exploring for a little bit, would we have any idea of like what generally is in the direction? Like, is it pointing back towards the quarry? Is it pointing towards town?
Well, those two things are kind of in the same direction, so yes.
So it's pointing towards all the things we know of.
Okay. Cool. Outside.
For now, yeah.
What if it's pointing towards the bookshop?
In your cozy move, because I know that we had Violet maybe talking about some birds. We'll kind of like gloss over that. We've got tea. The cozy move is when you guys have an intimate moment with another maven while one of you is engaged in a cozy activity. In this case, we're going to make it Taya's cozy activity. You may each clear an appropriate condition. In clearing conditions, it's not like this thing doesn't affect me anymore. It is, I have learned how to deal or, like work around or with this thing so it no longer, mechanically bothers me anymore. So you can still you can still complain about your tailbone, but it doesn't hinder you in vitality anymore or whatever you want it to be. But you each get to clear a condition because you're all doing this.
Yay!
And if you would share for the folks who may be watching what you are clearing, and then we'll continue on with the other half of this.
Cool. Teo is clearing foamless/isolated, which I guess makes sense because now they're all together and she's not going to split at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. You're feeling connected again.
Yeah.
Marina will clear Bruce's tailbone. I think just like as she's drinking the tea, she just feels like a warm pass through all of her body and just like healing muscles and like just good.
Kind of get that sense like, it won't be as bad as I think it will be. For sure. What about Violet?
I think I feel like thematically getting unstuck cleared is cheating, so I'm not gonna do that. And she likes crows, so there are worse things. So I think as disoriented as she is, I think she's gonna realize with everything that's gone on tonight that, you know, maybe arguing with a young kid, Brad, it's maybe not that important. Maybe the fact that he thinks that, you know, her plastic flashlight on the ground is going to cause major environmental harm. Maybe there are other, you know, other more important things to be focused on tonight. So we're going to clear marked by Brad.
Right on.
Cool.
I think we like see a little montage of you guys explaining all of the things that you experienced back and forth as your tea, like the steam kind of stops and your tea goes down in your mugs. And then we catch back up because there's a little knock at the door frame. And Sheriff Dalrymple is standing there.
As Teo's like, and he wouldn't even let me follow him into the bathroom. I was trying to protect him.
None of this would have happened if you would have gone into the bathroom with him.
I know, and I would have turned around too. Like, I didn't need to watch.
Oh.
Ladies, how we all doing in here?
Good. Would you like some tea?
Oh, yeah.
No, I'm fine. What was that, Violet?
Do we know his first name? Just from being around?
It's Wyman.
Wyman?
Wyman?
Hey there, Wyman.
Sheriff.
It's good to see you, Wyman.
Please don't. I've got lots of questions. I've understood it's been a eventful day between the deceased, the unconscious kid, and our new potential missing persons case. So I'm just coming in to let you know. I know sometimes transition can be hard at any age, but I'm going to take a little bathroom break and then probably come in here and start one at a time with each of you about what's happened today and, just anything you think would be important for the law enforcement to know regarding Mr. Harrison or Miss Turley. Just wanted to give you a little heads up.
Don't fall in.
It's always a pleasure with you three. He just turns around and ambles out of the doorway.
Yeah.
Taya, the second half of the cozy move is it's your cozy activity. You get to make up a clue.
Ooh.
It cannot conclusively solve the mystery, so it can't be like
DNA.
Yeah, DNA or like this is a plan that says I wanted to kill Mark Harrison, signed the suspect. It can't be that. But something you get to add, and we'll treat it as a clue.
Okay.
And you can weave it in as that you heard someone say it, or if it's a physical thing, you found it.
Maybe like a receipt for like the poison sumac or whatever, like from a plant store or something like that. Or not plant store, that'd be weird. I'm trying to think.
Let's see.
Or maybe just an internet browsing history of that to see to look it up. Would that work? I don't know how clues work.
Yeah, I mean, it's whatever you make. You guys are the ones who are gonna have to string it together. So if it's an internet browsing history, I'll offer you could either have found a print off in the house, so you have something physical, or you could say you heard 2 of your suspects talking about internet search histories on some sort of shared device.
Oh.
Okay.
Let's do a print off. I think that's a little easier.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
We'll add in a print off of a sumac related search history.
Yeah.
Before we theorize, I have a question. Just because I was able to use my, Fox Mulder, would there be a chance of either the 2 things I'm thinking is one, searching for some evidence close to where we are, maybe there were some clues left behind, or if somehow we can roll to help find Hannah, because I feel really guilty about her being lost in the woods. And bonuses are good for that.
Yeah. Since you guys are already 3 clues over, that's a pretty hefty modifier.
Okay.
So I would I would say maybe your 2 options are you can either use that roll to be for those out searching for Hannah, or to remember something and we'll add in a new detail that's really useful for finding her.
Ooh,
Or
yeah,
you
okay.
can keep it and have that in your next mystery. Have that advantage to start off with.
I feel really guilty about Hannah, so I think I'm going to roll to help them, because I can always use it again in the next mystery and get, 1 bonus there. So I think we'll roll to help Hannah.
All right. It's going to be a composure, a night move with composure, for those out searching, or for you to be still enough to remember so that they can search better.
Okay, sweet. So I get 3 then. So come on. This is for the cool lesbians. It's a 6. Nope. Violet just stares off into the distance.
You are racking your brain, trying to think, replaying, trying to think of anything else you can remember. And nothing's coming up.
Oh.
I'm using new dice next time, guys.
Crazy.
I know it's devastating for you guys, but in my brain, I'm I get to play with this so much more now.
I know. I regret my choices. All right. Yeah,
you're trying.
You said you think you're okay with this. I'm gonna make you regret that.
I can live with that.
Yeah,
we have the tape.
I would formally like to declare to previous Megan that was a dumb choice. You heard the lesbians and you feel bad about it.
Not the lesbians.
No, she might be found.
I've met you before.
So, you're all here in the kitchen. Tea almost done. A lot has happened today. One thing on top of another. And we don't know where Hannah is, but there are people out looking. But we still don't know what happened to Mr. Mark Harrison, beloved science teacher, why he is dead in the field with a mouthful of sumac. But you guys have read all sorts of books. And in the late night delirium, you could figure it out.
Okay.
So I'm going to move our screens over to our corkboard side. And we are going to do theorize. You all have theorized before, but for our folks at home, these mavens now need to string together as many of their clues as they can coherently make sense to come up with a working theory about who killed Mark and why they did it, using the knowledge that they've gained throughout their investigation. Every clue they can use is of benefit to them. They need to use at least 7 to roll with no modifiers at all, and any additional over that grants an additional modifier point to your roll. So it's to your benefit to try to make as many of them work or explain them away as why they don't really matter.
Okay, what we need first is someone to pin.
That's not how this works. You don't start off with who am I pinning it on.
But Sydney, that's how my brain works.
Process. Yes, I do it.
Who has motive? Maybe
who do we hate the most?
I mean, I think there's a clear standout here.
Yeah.
Accurate. Sydney's immediately regretting letting me into this game.
Megan's got a history of also pinning people we don't like.
Last time we took out Gary Garrickson.
We took out
what's his face?
Yeah.
That would be my finest moment in Brindlewood Bay Mystery. I'm never gonna be able to take out 2 with 1 again. I don't know. I mean, I feel like it's almost not the younger folks, because I know it could be them, but like this almost feels like there's some kind of like lover spat something in here, because with like the half of a Willy the Walrus like locket, part of a broken school trophy, the rings, somebody trying to burn like clothes, like maybe they were part of like maybe the clothes, because we get to decide what the clothes are, right? Or did we get those described? What if it was like a Letterman jacket that they were trying to burn?
Maybe it's some kind of hazing event, because there's like black robes wrapped in brown paper. So maybe they're like,
maybe
they're like initiating someone into a sorority, or what's the other one? The male version.
Fraternity.
Fraternity, thank you. Yeah.
Could be both. Could be a lover spat and some sort of like initiation.
Yeah.
Oh, I just thought something awful.
What?
What if Petra was in love with him, and like obviously he was like no, and she's like, oh no,
With who?
With Mark, and then she murdered him.
Petra?
I know.
The child?
Listen.
She was really sad.
I feel like if it's a hazing ritual, it's got to be with the kids, right? Like who's hazing as adults?
I was thinking like Paul and Thomas, because they're like buddies.
I was thinking Paul too, and he just moved back post-divorce.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Like maybe he was in love with Ashley or something like that. But they're part of the same fraternity. They were.
So, but then why did they murder Mark?
Oh no, I was thinking Paul and Mark.
But
then maybe Petra was jealous because she actually wanted to be with Mark.
Oh, what if it was like a secret, like an unrequited, like secret? Oh,
I don't like this.
And it was just like, you're a student thing, and it's like, of course not. But she was just like hopelessly in love with him.
Yeah. Oh man.
Maybe it was supposed to be Paul.
Okay, so
wait.
Obviously, it seems like there's some kind of love connection connected to the high school with the locket and Willie the Walrus. Like that's got to be
And the
some kind of love
rings.
thing. Then we've got the rings too, so that's going there. I mean that the clothes that are burned, the half destroyed Polaroids,
Those could be the Polaroids of the lovers.
exactly. Like
Mhm.
those all kind of fit together. A campsite with sleeping bags torn up. Maybe somebody caught them and they had to run in the middle of the night. Like maybe somebody was like out camping, sneaking around. And maybe the person who caught them was wearing the black robe and had stashed it. Like they were sneaking through the woods. Like that was their instead of camouflage, you in Brindlewood Bay, you wear black robes. It's just the natural way to do things.
Where did we find
Of course.
the locket again?
On Mark's body.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Ooh.
So
Yeah, okay.
Well, and if Petra is involved in this, the college entrance essay covered in red ink correction, like that could have like been, or I mean, Brad is a little crazy. Like, what if he just went nuts because he overly edited his essay and he was mad about it?
Does David Gareth Sunderland III count as a suspect?
He does not.
Dang. Okay.
So the broken lens from a phone or camera, that could have been from running away from the tent. Because if you were being chased in the woods.
It's sounding like that sounds like Brad caught people at the sleeping bags.
It kind of does. And oh my God. Okay, so this is really tangled. So Brad knew that Petra was secretly in love with Mr. Harrison. Like
I don't know how comfortable Angela is with that.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay.
The age gap and the power thing is weird.
Well, so I
But
don't think they ever had a relationship. I think this was just like
Petra's obsession.
a little bit, yeah. Like I don't know if y'all ever had this, but I distinctly remember in like a high school bio class, we had one student who was like borderline inappropriate towards the teacher. Like it never went that far, but like she definitely makes some comments in class that you're like,
oh no.
Can you not?
Gosh.
So I'm more thinking like fully unrequited, nothing ever happened. But also if that still makes you like I'm thinking like
it could be even like a twist on that is maybe Petra, because she really looks up to Mr. Harrison.
Mm-hmm.
And if he was caught in something really compromising that destroys his character, that's also a pretty big devastation if you idolize someone.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah, we could spin it like that.
Oh, what if it was that? Oh my God, that's why Brad was looking for him. So Petra just idolized him. She gave him her college entrance essay expecting this to be a like gold star, and then he edited it and she's devastated, like completely crushed. So Brad decides, listen, you just like destroyed, like it feels like, you know, they're just out of high school. Like it feels like he destroyed all her hopes and dreams. So he decides that he's gonna get some dirt on Mr. Harrison. And then he finds out that do we decide Mr. Mark and Paul have a thing going in the woods in secret? Is that where we're going?
Yeah. That seems plausible.
Yeah. Well, and then
but Paul has a divorcee wife, right?
No. Paul, oh God, this is so bad. So okay. Brad was wearing yeah. Brad was wearing the cloak, right? He's like sneaking out after Mr. Harrison in the woods, and they've like got this tent or whatever. I mean, Brad's pretty tall, right? Like he could be the same build as maybe like Thomas or something who lives near there in the woods. So Paul goes on like a jealous rampage, and Paul actually ends up killing Mark because he thinks after that night, he thinks that like all they see is a figure in a cloak, like as they like come, you know, busting out of the tent because they hear him outside. And I think maybe he finds too the broken school trophy was part of like, oh God.
A baby!
Attack! No, don't eat my dice. Hi. Oh yeah, sorry.
Who did it, Artemis?
Who did it?
Who did it?
Oh my God. Sorry. I left her food bowl over here. Okay, so anyway, back to where I was going. So the broken school trophy is maybe Thomas and Mark like wrestled together in high school. And this was like, I don't know, are there like tag team titles? We're gonna say there's like tag team titles. And so he assumes wrongly that the person in the woods was Thomas. And he decides, don't eat things you shouldn't. It's just a
Good decision.
Don't eat things.
good life advice. So he decides, like, he's furious. Like, Mark's like, I know what you're talking about. There was just somebody in a robe. Like, so they have a whole fight. Then Paul goes home and starts researching how to make it look like an accident, because as the biology teacher, like, they know that he knows that Mark spends a lot of times in the woods out there, and he knows he can just follow him. And he finds poison sumac information that he knows is in the area. And he goes a little crazy in this kind of time. We're gonna say there's a little bit of time between. So he decides that he's gonna, like, they had these like gold lockets and stuff, because like after Paul got divorced, they were gonna be, you know, like star-crossed lovers reunited. And then he buries their rings. I think the jacket could be a Letterman jacket, because I like the leaning in. So he tried to burn that. And what else do I need to use here?
Maybe the Polaroids are from their college days.
Oh yeah.
So is the instigating bit that like Paul thinks like Mark and Thomas had a thing, and he in his jealousy?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So, because like he knows that they, like, you know, have been around each other in town and stuff. You know, he really oh gosh, what was he? Gumball Baron?
Gumball Baron.
Gumball Baron.
He knows that, like, that's one of his favorite things, that he goes to the shop a lot, thinks that they might be spending some time together again. And when they get caught out in the tent, and there's a figure in a cloak, he assumes that, you know, he's not the most stable person. He just assumes that, you know, Mark was having an affair. It had to be Thomas. They had already been arguing about him. And that's why the tent's destroyed, because he's furious. He thought that Mark was meeting Thomas out in the woods too. Yeah, like,
Web is wild.
Yeah. I don't know. Did we get somewhere that sort of
Taya and Marina, what are you thinking as like Violet kind of spits out this whole theory? Anything that you're adding or tweaking? Or we haven't used we did use the sumac print off. Anything you want to alternatively suggest, or are we all good with this theory?
Let me see what all's down the list.
Yeah, look. We started going, and then it's real hard to stop once you start.
I'm gonna reiterate what I think it is.
Yeah.
Which is it's kind of two concurrent storylines that end with Mark's death. We have Paul and his wife get divorced. Paul moves back to the Bay. Paul's had kind of like maybe he's had a history with Mark in the past, so they're kind of rekindling something. The divorce is very messy. Maybe his wife is very controlling. He's, he's having the youth moments, you know, when you come out and you're younger mentally because it's your first time doing all of this stuff. So he's very insecure. He's very kind of controlling and possessive because he just got out of something really bad. He doesn't want this thing to get messed up too. And yeah, he starts kind of obsessing over Mark and Thomas's friendship, or at least knowing of one another, and that spirals. So when they're having one of their woods rendezvous, they get into it about Thomas.
Yeah, I think maybe before that is when he finds the trophy out. Like maybe Mark was doing some cleaning or something, and Paul sees that Mark had the old high school trophy of Mark's and Thomas's out, and that kind of sets off like, why do you have this out?
Maybe it has couldn't have done it without you, like Thomas on the back or something.
Yeah. And he ends up breaking that at some point.
Okay. That kind of sends him in a spot. He confronts Mark in their night rendezvous in the woods near Thomas's house. Concurrently, you know, we back up our camera several days. Mr. Harrison has just eviscerated Petra's paper. Brad is feeling super sorry for her because Mr. Harrison did the same thing to him a year before. He's like, you know what, Petra, like, I'm kind of a jerk, but I'm on my gap year. Petra, you know, is a star student. Maybe they're closer friends than what they kind of put off. Both like kind of weird outcasts from the school. And so he's like, I'm going to get, you know, my dad's an investigative journalist. I can do this. I can get dirt on Mr. Harrison. He starts tailing him. He steals a cloak from the high school prop department, or from like a play nearby that he's helping out with or something. And he starts tailing him, and he comes across the camp scene where it's Paul and Paul and Mark, and startles them. They come out. Brad takes off. Paul sees how tall this person is and is like, he just goes off the deep end. It's Thomas. Like, this is Thomas, you know, like, what are you doing? You know, you've ruined everything. You know, like this relationship is like in tatters. He, you know, grabs the place is torn up. He like pitches a fit, grabs all of his shit and leaves, leaving Mr. Harrison here. He cannot let this go. He's so far over the edge. He prints out what he needs. He texts Mark. They're gonna reconcile. He lures him back here within like the same couple of days, because the information timeline for Brad back to Petra, right? It's got to be quick. And with his mental state, he lures Mr. Harrison back and ambushes him here in the woods. And then he takes their rings, and you know, he takes his part of the locket, throws it into the pond. He takes the rings. He can't bear to part with them, so he buries them, and is going to come back for them later once this all blows over. And the only thing we haven't used, Brad's camera breaks, so that's the broken lens. And then the burning of the clothes, he's burning like a Letterman jacket.
Yeah, so I think when they kind of reunited, because they had a fling in high school, like, he ends up being really cheesy and is like, hey, well, you know, if you want to, you can wear my Letterman jacket around town. And after that, he decides he's, you know, with all the other stuff that he's getting rid of, he's just like, I'm just going to burn this too, might as well.
Right on. How does everyone feel about that?
It sounds good.
To me.
Sounds way better when you say it.
You said it first, but you had to figure it out while you were saying it. I just got to listen. I think it's time to roll. Sheriff Dalrymple, you hear like the flush and the washing of the hands as he's going to start ambling back in. Let's see if you guys are correct. Now, the reminder on a theorize roll. One of you is going to roll this. You get a +3, I believe. We used all of them. Can someone go through and tick all those for me?
Yeah.
Thanks. A 6 or below. Fail. You are wrong, and I get to wreck some stuff. A 7 to 9. Your theory is right, or it's mostly right. But you either missed a crucial detail, or your suspect is going to get away or otherwise not be caught. Something happens that impacts it. A 10 and 11, you're correct. And things go as planned. They're going to get apprehended. You have a chance to save the day here, whether it is by just telling Sheriff Dalrymple or jumping out and accusing them and taking them down yourself. A 12 plus, that plus a fun little stinger scene.
Who's gonna roll it?
This is all you, Anjali.
No!
You know it's
Gosh! Okay.
I haven't rolled above a 6 all night. You do
I
not
know,
want
but
me
I'm
to
rolling
roll
well. Now I'm scared I'm gonna roll bad.
You've got it.
You gotta do it. You
this.
got
This is
it.
all you.
Okay. Come on, wooden dice. Oh my gosh. Okay. No, it's fine. I got a 10. Oh,
Okay.
it scared me because it rolled like on the 2, and then I was like, ah.
It's lucky though, because when Vasti rolled, one of them was cocked and had to re-roll, so that's just the lucky
That's
theory.
the
That's just the
luck,
way
yeah.
it is.
All right,
That was
I'm gonna
so
roll
scary.
to see. We're just gonna say this is what I would have rolled, so you feel better about this. I got a 10 too. Hey, look at
Oh,
that.
okay.
Right on. All right, Vassie, you go
wait.
ahead and roll.
Yeah.
See what you
how
get.
many do I roll?
2.
2. Okay. Okay, I want to see. Okay. I got a 5. Half. No.
Ah,
Good thing
A
I
5
didn't
would have
roll.
been very bad. We wouldn't be having a 4th session. On your 10, I think you guys you've figured out a very solid theory. And the sheriff comes back to the door frame. It's kind of going to be a montage, so he kind of knocks. All right, which one of you is first? And then I would imagine maybe you all just try to tell him.
yes.
Right on. We see this like. Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I think Violet also is just like, you were gone like a really, really long time. It's been like a couple hours, weirdly and out of context, and then just like everybody goes.
Quite rude. I had a burrito for lunch. It wasn't that long.
It's like,
and then we
I
like
think you ought to sit down.
he turns a chair around and like sits down with the back of it to the front, and you all spitball your theory. And it's, I think, about this time we see this montage of like you all kind of cutting over each other and explaining it. Paul comes in to like fill up a cup of water and sees the 3 of you talking to the sheriff and hears. And then he just drops the cup and tries to take off. But
I think Violet will yell, "He probably took Hannah too!"
Can Teo run over and jump on him?
He's not going to get very far because Rhett is there. So Rhett the cadet. And he is, on his arm is a very disoriented Hannah Turley on one side, and he just clotheslines Paul. And then, yeah, Taya, you can pounce on him.
Yeah.
Nice.
Get him.
And our scene fades from there. We get like the credits roll for a little bit. And we'll do a stinger scene. We're a week after, 2 weeks down, maybe it's been a month. Time, of course, Violet, is weird.
Very weird.
But the 3 of you are leaving Madison in Hannah's apartment. You've had a dinner with them. And they're at the door. Madison, okay, no, you all make sure you get home safely. And what's the name of the book I'm supposed to read for next week? What?
What's a good one? The Gold Crown Mystery of...
Ooh.
The first thing I'm reading is Watermelon.
I was thinking, do we know what our next mystery is? This would be a good foreshadowing moment.
I do.
The watermelon in the window.
I do like the watermelon in the window.
I like
though.
the watermelon in the window.
That's a pretty good one.
Yeah. All right. And Hannah gives you all a small wave. I hope you all enjoy the leftovers. And we will be seeing you.
Yeah, thank you. It was delicious.
Yeah.
Thank you. I could not have done it without your herbs. And she looks over at Taya.
Absolutely. You're very welcome. Keep the extras, okay?
Yes, of course. And Hannah, Madison snakes an arm around Hannah's waist, and they both kind of stand there at the door as you guys head out. The sun is setting in Brindlewood Bay. Crow Moon and all of its festivities are a little behind you. What's on your mind as you guys trek back to wherever you're going?
Marg's at my place.
Ooh.
Definitely.
Always.
Taya pounds another Corona.
Just keeps them in her overall pockets.
We hard cut to you guys. Marg's at Taya's place.
Did we ever find out what happened to Brad and to Hannah?
Great questions. Hannah cannot remember anything. It actually took her a day or two to remember Madison. She was found unconscious, and Rhett woke her up enough to start walking her back. Brad, he shared that he kind of got dizzy in the bathroom and then passed out, but any sort of reports or anything on that are not available to you.
Ooh. Can I think in the meantime, in between the end and then, our book club night, I think Violet would have made a point to go chat with Hannah and apologize. And if this fits or not, let me know. But part of me thinks that maybe that was the final, get her to come to book club, because after Hannah had that experience, maybe she kind of understood maybe where the troubles Violet was having that night. So maybe that was a nice little bonding, I'm so sorry, I'm so glad you were okay, I don't know what happened, and then finally was yeah, definitely book club.
Yes, caveat.
Yeah.
Hannah will not be alone with you.
That's fair.
So the first couple of times, I think she tells Madison to turn you away, and then finally Madison convinces her to agree to have you come inside. But
ooh, I think maybe what could have convinced her is, yes. Okay, so do they have a little house or an apartment in town?
They've got an apartment. They live above a business.
They've got an apartment.
Ooh.
Okay. Do they have is there a balcony or some potted plants outside?
I think Madison has some plants, but they're all Venus flytraps and pitcher plants and things that eat shit.
I think
Nice.
When Hannah opens their door one day after a few times of Violet being turned away, she finds a fairy house on her doorstep that has been hand carved and is beautifully painted. And I think in the effort of talking, or Violet was able to ask somebody about the town that Hannah had moved from and had talked about, being homesick for her family back there. I think it's a fairy tale version. Violet looked up what the area looked like and what the houses looked like there. And it's a little fairy tale version of what the houses kind of look like there. And there's a little note with an apology again in it, and is like, I'm so sorry, like I won't reach out to you anymore. I'm like, and she confesses, she's just like, I still am not sure what happened to me that night, and I hope you're okay. And it just says like, I promise I won't come back again, but I just thought that you could, use something nice, and something you would enjoy, a little memory.
Yeah. I think that is what gets you guys the dinner invitation. And they've slowly come around to the idea of going to book club. And again, Hannah will not do anything alone with you. So Madison is coming to book club. Like, they're both coming to book club. All three of you got invited to their house. She's perfectly cordial with you. And she thanked you for the gift, but there's still, even though there's not like an animosity, there's still a wariness.
Yeah. Violet, at every given opportunity, will like sit like in the farthest seat away. Like she, she'll talk to her in book club. Like, it's not like she like fully ignores her, but she like, she's really careful to like respect that like boundary put in place. Like, she doesn't try to push it. She just like, this is how things are. I still don't know what happened. Like, I mean, that's valid,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. We see like vignettes of that as our credits scroll. And then we're back with you all with Margs at Taya's garden. Little bone walrus still ticking around every time you bring it out.
I think Taya would have put it like in, one of those like
a cloche.
Yeah, a cloche. Yeah, in there.
Mm-hmm. Right on. I think that's where we'll leave the three of you post dinner at Madison and Hannah's place. And our camera zooms away from the garden as you guys were like, well, what really did happen to Brad? Now that we've seen Madison and Hannah again and kind of revisiting this down the line.
Yeah.
And we go across the bay. We see, and maybe just like follow-ups with everyone. So we see Thomas and Ashley at the Hapsbury house. All of their kids are here now. Maybe they were moving. Ashley and the kids are like moving fully down because they've been up in Boston for a little bit. Thomas has been commuting to be the Gumball Baron. He's got some franchises up there. It's fine. Paul has been locked away. There was a wonderful funeral for Mr. Harrison. Petra graduates. She's got a scholarship somewhere that is not here. Someone asks Brad if his gap year is over, and he shakes his head. I've still got more to do here. We like zoom away from that. We see David Gareth Sunderland III and Leanne at the gallery, putting up some new artwork inspired by the mannequins at the quarry. And we come to a window with light emanating from it, and the silhouette of a figure with a computer screen in front of them. And on the screen, it's split. They've got two screens. One has public records open, like census stuff. The other half of that screen seems to have a lot of documents open. And as their screens flicker and as our camera moves through, we see them hunched over, furiously writing. And then in the census screen, we see Taya de la Rosa, age, address. We see Violet, your name, age, address. Marina, your name. Scrolling down. And then the screens like zoop go off, and then our like episode zoop goes off. And that's where we'll end.
We're on a list.
Oh my gosh.
On a list.
Oh my god. Do you want to do our end of session stuff?
Yeah. I would love to. If you guys are all still good to do that, probably be like 10ish minutes. Knowing us, probably 10 minutes to like talk and whatnot.
Yeah.
Wonderful. I'm gonna flip the screens real quick so I know where to cut this.
Crazy.
All right. What a mystery. What a time. We are doing our end of session questions for Homecoming at Bonfire Cliff. Because you all have cracked the code and figured out Paul killed Mark Harrison in a downward, jealousy-fueled obsession out in the woods. And some other things happened, but
yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
Gay rights and gay wrongs. I feel it.
There should be the gay rights and gay wrongs.
Be the end game to sign off the session.
I love that.
We're going to do our end of session questions. So you get 1 experience point per question that you can confidently answer yes to. We're going to start with Taya, because you're first on the list here. Did we solve a mystery?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Did you dote on someone?
Would the talk with Petra count?
I think so.
Okay, cool.
And then did you show someone that you've still got it?
I didn't do it with a roll, but I did, because I caught Marina, I think, right? Early in the mystery.
Oh yeah, and then also tackling at the end.
Oh yeah, and then bookending it.
Yeah.
I would say so.
Okay, sick. So does that like clear all of them and then add a new one?
Yes, and then you'll get to take one of these advancements.
Yay! Woo!
Right on. Marina, did the murder maven solve a mystery?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you share your wisdom with a young person?
Yeah, I think the talk with Madison was nice.
Convincing her of her worth in her own relationship? Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was
Did you behave like a woman half your age?
I think that with like purposefully antagonizing Carolyn was maybe a little like half my age, maybe like a quarter of my
Yeah, I would be inclined to agree. I mean, you might be half Carolyn's age.
True.
And that brings us to Violet. Violet, did the murder maven solve a mystery?
Yes, they did.
Did you share a memory of a late family member?
So I'm looking through my notes because I am pretty sure she talked about a memory with her grandfather, but I don't know that I wrote it down.
I think
And
you
it's
talked
different.
to Hannah outside the shed before your crown.
See, and that's I can never take notes when like I'm the one doing things.
Anyone recall if that was about a
Yeah.
person?
Let me see if it's in my notes.
Yeah, let me see also.
Because I know there was that story about like running away, and it's probably
But that was the crown.
No, and that was the
Oh, yeah,
crown.
that's
No,
true,
it was
that's
one
true.
because I remember being like, "Oh yeah, sweet, I did this," and then I just can't write.
We can take it on good faith. I mean, we've got the recording.
We do. No,
Agree.
and so people will find out if I'm a liar or not. More like if I can't remember things. It might have been.
This is where time has been wibbly wobbly for us, and even though these videos are close together, it has been 2 weeks of real world time for us.
Yeah.
Did you show someone that you've still got it?
Do you have points for the opposite? Because I feel like she definitely showed people that she does not have it.
I would argue convincing Hannah to break and enter into the shed.
You've got it.
I agree.
And grabbing like your duck call and like blaring it in Brad's face. Those you've still I think
I'll take it.
I think you did it. I think you are right in that you had a lot of scenes where it showed the opposite. But breaking and entering feels like, you've still got, you're like that fun, loving energy. Yes.
Okay, just a little bonding B&E.
Yeah.
So each of you can
it's a little crime.
Because we have our experience from our prequel, and you all answered all 3 of your end of session questions, that means you get to take an advancement. You can increase a modifier, you can choose an additional move, or if you've marked things in your cozy little place and you want to unmark and use them again, you may. So I will say, we did not mark your handheld metal detector, but it is marked, I believe. Marina.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. So I went and marked that for you, but you guys can all think over the next time until we play again what you want to do as far as your advancement. And then at the top of that session, we will share what you picked. So you got some time to think through it. Be wary of some moves we can't, like, they exclude other moves, so be aware of that. But otherwise, your first real foray into a murder mystery and not just a pet kidnapping mystery, pretty successful, all things considered.
Yeah.
So, all right on. Was a good one. Definitely a different vibe than your pet one.
Yeah.
This was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, this got real intense. Some of us need to be more cautious about racking up the conditions.
Nah.
Some of us need to rack up more conditions.
Yeah.
I'll leave it to you guys next time.
You just got like 2 in such quick succession because you got one.
They stacked up real quick.
Yes.
Yeah.
But all that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and close this out. So thank you guys for playing Homecoming at Bonfire Cliff. Thank you to anyone who's watching, especially glasses people. I'm not wearing mine anymore because my eyes be tired, but it'd probably help if I was wearing them so I could read my notes. We will be back next time with a new mystery.
Woo.
New shenanigans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember, we support gay rights and gay wrongs.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Somebody get that on a shirt.
I'm sure it is.
Yes.
I'm sure it is.
Next
Right on.
embroidery
Be
project.
surprised. Yeah.
I would love that.